Danny, can you just tell us, how about now, what is exciting you about Jesus now at the moment? Anything in this past week that you've thought, wow, that is amazing?
Just kind of seeing all the stuff that's happening in the news. You know, there's a lot of chaos in the world, a lot of uncertainty, and there's an assurance, there's a solid assurance that regardless of what happens in the world, I'm secure in Him. It's a very if you don't believe in it, you don't understand the Christian faith. I'll kind of tell you the backstory, and it becomes clear what that means. But there is a solid assurance that He is there for you, He loves you, He protects you, and nothing can take you away from that.
Amen. And so tell us the backstory then. How did you become a Christian? Encourage us with that.
Yeah, so it's a bit of a long story, but I'm gonna try and summarize it for you in kind of 4 points. So firstly, I didn't grow up in a Christian home. I had no exposure to the Christian faith, to Jesus. I was born in Thailand, which is a predominantly Buddhist country. My dad is agnostic. My mom is a yoga guru who's believes in the spiritual, craziness. At home, we call her Yoda because she can float, not really. And I went to an international school that was very secular. So kind of religion, Christianity was never in the conversation. And my understanding of the Christian faith at the time was that it was a closed-off religion for the virtuous. It was, if you were in a Christian family, you inherited it, you become a Christian. If you do good, you live a good life, you're a Christian. And if you're a Christian, you go to heaven, and that was that. Of which I was not. I didn't believe I was. So that's the backstory. I first heard about Jesus when I was about 18, 19, and I was living in Amsterdam, and I was a very confused young adult, very angry, very depressed, trying to find my way in the world. And I had no idea what I was going to do with my life. And a Christian friend of mine said, you need God, and you need to pray. I thought, okay, whatever. Every Wednesday, I would go to the gym, and it would be a 15-minute walk on this quiet road, just walking at night to the gym. And it just gave me a space to kind of just talk out loud. There was no one to hear what I said, but I would just talk. And I would look up in the sky, and I was one of the first, prayers was, God, if you exist, show me. Tell me you exist. Show me I'm not alone. Show me that you love me. Show me that you care. Just show yourself to me, because I don't know what I'm doing. And a year later, I moved to Australia, and on my first day of university, I got stopped on the way by two people on the street. And they said to me, hey, my name is Nick. This is Beth. We're Christians, and we want to ask you a question. I said, okay, fine. What do you think about Jesus? I said, okay, so he's a guy, he's a teacher, he's a spiritual leader, yeah. Okay, fine. What would you say if he claims to be the Son of God? Big claim, but whatever. Now, I'm not easily swayed by things, and I'm quite stubborn, but I was open to the conversation. If this was true, okay, then, I'm in for something big, but if it was not, I can just walk away. And so they invited me to church. Never been to church before, had no idea what to expect. I thought I would be struck by lightning or something like that, or there'd be kind of a booming voice saying you're not welcome here or something like that. But it was nothing like that, and I got invited to a course called Introducing God, which is a safe place for you to learn to see what the Bible is all about, what the Christian faith is all about, who Jesus is. And if you had questions, you can just ask your questions. And over time, my understanding of the Christian faith, about who Jesus is, changed. It was no longer a closed-off religion for the good. It was no longer something I thought you inherited. If you're from the Christian family, you're a Christian. If you do good things, it's not about merit, it's not about performance, it's none of that. It's a fixing of a broken relationship. It's man rejecting God because he didn't need God, and God fixing that relationship through the death of his son and forgiving us for that. I guess that's a very short summary of it, but that was fundamental to like, wow, this is not what I thought at all. And at the end of the course, they said, okay, now you're going to make a choice. Do you want to change the way you live and believe in him, or do you want to continue the way you live and die? And so I thought, nah, I reject it. And so for 4 years, I went to church, and even though I kind of behaved like a Christian and kind of did all the like nice things and served and everything like that, in my head, in my heart, I didn't believe in it. I resisted it, I fought against it, I tried every way to disprove it, to look through the evidence, to argue with people who wanted to, read the Bible with me, and I just was like, this is not true. How do you think this is true? Like, it's like thousands of years old. How can you prove this? Also, why does it matter? Who cares? Who cares right now? I want to do what I want to do, and I don't want someone to tell me what to do. And over time, kind of, the more evidence I found of its credibility, of its legitimacy, the more I realized that I was playing a losing game. There's so much evidence in history, in the Bible, outside the Bible, testimonies in the world you see that we're living in a broken world. There's an existence of a God, and the Bible tells me his name. And then it kind of, my thinking changed in that it was no longer about me trying to disprove it, but not accept it because I just didn't believe that I was worth saving. See, I don't think I'm a good person. I think I'm an average person at best. I've got lots of baggage. I've got skeletons in my closet. Like, who really would love me? And if God says that he loves me, like, I just can't believe that. But this is where the beauty of who Jesus is really shines. Because it's not about me. It's not about how worthy I am of saving. It's about who he is. It's about Jesus. It's about God and his character. And in his character, he comes down to live a life as a human in a broken world, to die for us on the cross, be resurrected, take up all our sin, and give us forgiveness. And it's a gift. And all I had to do was accept it. And even though I fought for many years against it, I just felt, okay, like I'm losing here, and it's chipping away in me, and I thought, okay, I just got to give up fighting. So 2017, I remember kind of dropping to my knees and in tears, and I was just like, I give up. I give up. Jesus is God. I can't do any more. I submit. And that was 2017. What's changed in 9 years after that? Well, a lot has changed. The way I look at it is, I like to look at it in like a before and after. Like, imagine you're in the ocean and you're sinking. When you don't have God, when you don't believe in God, you're sort of trying to swim and it's dark and you don't know where you're going and you're sort of swimming and swimming and swimming. And you hear a voice here and you see things over there, so you swim over here, you swim over there, but you don't know what you're really doing. And you're sinking with all the baggage. But when you know God and you know Jesus, there's like an anchor, there's like a rope, and you've got a harness on, and you're fastened to it, and you see a ship, and you see a light above, and you're being pulled up. And you can try and swim, but really you're just being pulled up. And no matter what, that harness is on you, and you're fastened to it, and nothing will ever break that. And even though there's like chaos in the world and you're being swayed by the waves and you're being swayed by different things, there's only really one way you're going. And even though there's chaos in the world, there's a steadiness, there's a calmness, there's an assurance. You are saved. Nothing can break free of that. And yeah, that's what excites me.
That is hugely encouraging, Danny. That is massively encouraging. Thank you for sharing.